What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745. And in case you didn't notice, we have a brand new character in the game. It's none other than the inhuman Gorgon, even though I do pronounce it Gorgon from time to time. But what we have here is the modern Gorgon, and he is a Bruiser. Now the first thing you'll notice is he has very nice passive abilities. For one, intensive training says rising up is applied to all allies at the beginning of their turn. That is insane. I can't even tell you how amazing that is. The only thing to fear would be Boonbuster. Then, all Inhumans become immune to Dizzy, Exposed, Slowed, and Weakened. I don't know about you, but I'm getting really excited about these Inhumans teams. And I really hope that our agent can become an honorary member. Just give him a Terrigen Mist item and he's ready to go. But anyways, as far as Gorgon, that's not even all. He also has Intimidating Presence. A 40% chance to apply Intimidated and Demoralized to all enemies before any action. 40% is just incredible, and he gets this all the time. But we'll talk a little bit more about that once we get into the action. Moving on to his first ability, it's called Feel the Thunder. This is an unarmed ground attack that causes Weakened and Exposed, and grants him Wind Up. Next attack does 25% more damage. One thing I can tell you is if you do grant him a follow-up, let's say if the enemy has flanked, you can attack with this, and then he actually does his follow-up attack with the Dance of Death. So yes, he gives himself Wind Up, and then he attacks with his AoE level 2. This ability is also an unarmed ground attack, and it causes Dizzy and Slowed to all enemies. Then it's also going to grant Gorgon Breakthrough. The next attack that hits is guaranteed to be a critical hit. By this point, I'm sure you can see with his level 1 and 2, he's setting up Paragon Exploiter. This means that even outside of the Inhumans team-ups, he's going to find plenty of other great pairings. Next, his level 6 is called Walk All Over You, and it's an unarmed melee attack that causes Grounded, Flanked, and has a 15% chance to stun. The Flanked is very nice. The grounded part will certainly help him out, but that stun is very low. Then finally, moving on to his level 9, it's called Show No Mercy. It's another unarmed melee attack, and it has Finest Hour and Paragon Exploiter. I fully expect this to be a huge damage ability, and apparently so does Playdom. That is unfortunately because they put Kicks Like a Mule on it, and that I'm not liking. I'm assuming it's going to end up being a one-shot kill, so I'm sure it'll still end up being worth it, especially at the right time. Now the only thing left to do is go ahead and recruit him, and then I'll show him in low-level action. By the way, I actually do really like his animation, and his sprite in general. He's just a cool-looking character to me. And to be honest, I do like the Inhumans, so it's awesome that we're getting more of them in the game. Oh, and here's his recruitment dialogue. Agent, the thought of you and I working together will make our enemies quake and tremble. See what I did there? Well, yes I do. So anyways, now on to the action. And first, of course, he's only going to be at level 1. But still, at first we're going to pair him up with Medusa, and it's going to be in Chapter 7. Gorgon is lucky enough to get the first turn, so let's go ahead and attack one of the enemy scrappers. One thing that I noticed is even at lower levels, he actually does quite a bit of damage, and part of that I'm sure is because of rising up and gaining strengthened. So here you see Medusa, and she has Agile and Fortified before her first attack. I can't even get over how happy I am to see this. I know it's still kind of early, but I'm going to say that Gorgon is a definite buy. The Inhumans are starting to look like a formidable team, and just wait until you see the next battle where we pair him up with Black Bolt. By the way, like I said, Gorgon does go well with Paragon Exploiters, and he even really helps out with the Blade of the Guardian, or really any Finest Hour weapon or character. Also, just to give you a few more synergy pairings, or at least an idea, there are characters like Thundra that have Finest Hour and Paragon Exploiter on a move. For example, her level 6 Perfect Storm. Now right after our agent takes out the top predator, Gorgon's going to get another turn, and before we hit with Feel the Thunder, he does proc his Intimidating Presence. So there you can see it does proc before he even attacks. And now the Elder has Demoralized and Intimidated. Next, with our Medusa, we'll go ahead and use her Headbang. This is going to take the enemy Elder very close to death. In fact, our agent should easily finish him once it makes it to his turn. Now check this out, we actually have Blessing of Heroes already thanks to Gorgon. That of course gives us health back and guarantees crits. Then moving on to the next wave, Gorgon gets to go first once again, and we'll start by using his level 1. Before that we get another intimidating presence, and so we severely weaken both enemies. I can't even say it enough, a 40% proc rate is incredible. Then I figured with Medusa, why not use a bad hair day? On our agent's turn, since our stamina is kind of low, I go ahead and use party time. But hey, there's also another reason to celebrate, and that's the fact that we have another amazing general release character in the game. As far as this final elder, he makes the mistake of attacking Medusa, and for that he gets finished from a counter. That was the very first time we ever used Gorgon in battle, and as you can see we do get 150 XP. Then moving on to our second team up, and after we hit level 2, we're going to team up Gorgon with the King of the Inhumans. Once again he does get to go first, so we're going to begin with the Dance of Death. Then with Black Bolt up next, I'm going to use his level 2, and that way we can gain Kree speed. Also you can see he has Fortified and Resilient. Then since there is an enemy blaster we will gain an extra turn, and so we can use our level 1 Kingly Fists as well. Next up is going to be one of the enemy infiltrators, and of course our agent is going to protect, then counter with at least the Mercurial, if not also the Blade of the Guardian. This is definitely one of my preferred setups for fast clearing and for leveling new heroes. In fact, after this last enemy attacks, he's finished and both of the others are severely injured. We'll just finish off the middle target and then Gorgon will take out the final Vanguard. Then after this we'll move on to the second wave, and that's going to be the final one of the video. On this wave you're going to see what Gorgon and especially what Black Bolt is capable of. But first another Dance of Death, and we do get an intimidating presence proc. Then with Black Bolt we have his level 6 and level 9 ready to use. Since we're facing blasters we can use his level 9 first, and then we'll still get another attack due to tactical maneuvers. But in case you missed it, we also had Agile, Fortified, Strengthened, and Kree Speed. This means we already got 2 actions, so we get to use his level 2 as well as his level 1. This makes quick work of wave 2, and it's going to bring us to the end of our first look at Gorgon. I'm definitely going to continue leveling him, and I'll show you this character as I progress. If you're still wondering if you should get him, I would definitely say yes. Lastly, I want to thank you all for watching, and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck, and take care.